South Africa has said farewell to its last surviving Nobel laureate, Archbishop Desmond Tutu. And one of the seats of our democracy, Parliament, has been on fire today. Somebody has been arrested. On Tuesday, the State Capture Commission is meant to hand over its first report to the President. If this is just the beginning of the year, what can we expect in the political arena in 2022? I'm now joined by political analyst Sandile Swana. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Swana. So it still needs a lot of clarification what happened at Parliament, but it does raise concern. Do you have any concern, because we saw coordinated and planned attacks in the middle of the year during the unrest, and now it seems like this may have been planned, an arson attack?
Yes, there are two sides to the story, and there's a side that is controllable. The side that is controllable is whether the state is budgeting correctly and allocating enough resources to secure the national key points in South Africa. One of the points that need adequate security is the parliament buildings and the parliament precinct. And we are beginning to hear, although it's unverified, that the cost-cutting measures have meant that, number one, the amount of security, the number of security guards, etc., has been reduced during this festive season, at least. So once again, we see that even the case of KZN during the year showed us clearly that the security cluster has been systematically weakened since the Polokwane conference of the African National Congress until today, and Cyril Ramaphosa has not been able to secure the nation of South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, we were reporting at the time on those lines of people in their cars at a very slow pace going to loot and not being stopped. And the police minister afterwards saying they didn't want a bloodbath. They tried to avoid confrontation where they could. Some people were arrested in 2022. Do you think we'll at least get to the bottom of what happened in that very troubling time in the middle of the year?
I don't think we are likely to get to the bottom of what happened during July 2021 for the simple fact that any analysis of that situation shows you that it was the ANC elites themselves who were orchestrating the mid-year insurrection, as Cyril Ramaphosa called it. So we didn't hear the identification of the people, the senior people, senior intelligence officers, senior police officers, senior politicians, ANC and NEC members who may have been implicated. So somehow Cyril is trying to play a deterrent, some kind of negotiation with those parties that wanted to bring the country to disrepute during the year 2021.
Say that again. So you mean the president is actually playing nice with people who were threatening our country?
I am saying exactly that. I am saying you will remember that the philosophy of the African National Congress at this point in time is a philosophy that says you must unite those who are not criminals, and those who are criminals must unite and form one ANC. The arrest of President Jacob Zuma, I would like to believe, had something to do with the insurrection at mid-year and also with his release. I think those events that happened during July are not entirely unconnected. Now, the question is Cyril prepared to say these 10 members or 15 or 20 members of the ANC, NEC are the ones who are behind this insurrection, and I am handing them over to the NPA and to the police to be processed because we know who is dissatisfied, who is disaffected by the rate at which the people who have been running state capture and corruption in general are being arrested and being prosecuted, etc. We know who is dissatisfied, but we are not hearing their names coming up relative to the insurrection, relative to the sabotage, relative to the mayhem that took place mid-year in July 2021.
All right, so if these people are still in high position and were actually involved in inciting violence, What does that mean for 2022? I mean, we saw the fallout when Jacob Zuma was arrested, the unrest, the protest against the former president going to jail. Now, what sort of response if the Zondo Commission is very outright saying that he facilitated state corruption, state capture, for example?
You will remember that people like Arthur Fraser, when he had to answer why he released Jacob Zuma, he told us that he was afraid of violence. And there are many people who have told us that if Zuma is sent back to jail, there might be insurrection or some kind of violence in the country, etc. So he must stay out of jail if we want to live a peaceful life. And Zondo has got no option but to write the truth about what Jacob Zuma has done or not done relative, because the witnesses have given the evidence that they've given. Now, the question will be, will Cyril Ramaphosa be able to accommodate those findings and send them in the right direction of the police, the Hawks, and the NPA in the manner that he should, in a speedy fashion? At the same time, we have to remember that 2022, is the year in which Jacob Zuma has got to go and face the charges related to the arms deal head on. And he has been evading this since 2005 until today. And that can in itself send him to jail. So the chances of Jacob Zuma going to jail are actually increasing now. And if people think that if Jacob Zuma goes to jail, there will be violence, then violence is virtually inevitable.
Sure. So we could see more unrest this year. What you're saying is very troubling, especially at a time when the party is emphasizing servant leadership and saying that it's going to do better. That was a promise before the election. And let's look at this in light of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu's death. He apparently said to Cyril Ramaphosa that, we'll give you a chance, but we're watching you. And hopefully the new dawn is not a false dawn. Is this the year we will find out definitively if the president is able to implement an anti-corruption agenda or not?
Let us say the ANC itself, because I've always believed that in the ANC, even if you are the president, you can never want to be a hero, a single-man hero, one-person show. It is the ANC itself that has got to make certain decisions. The problem we have here is not just one of corruption. There is a serious problem of incompetence and poor performance, as well as corruption on the other hand. So the New Dawn would have been a program, or the renewal of the ANC, which starts to say competent people have got to be appointed to correct positions, etc., and performance management has got to be there. Cyril Ramaphosa himself told us he's going to put all cabinet ministers and senior people on performance contract. But we have not yet received one performance report about one specific minister or even about his cabinet one by one. So the only instruction to the ANC, instructive thing that has happened, are the national government results. Not because of a change of heart, but because of the hammering that the ANC has taken in the elections. They know that they've got to do something as they are sinking, and they are going to probably lose major provinces in 2024 in the absence of serious and credible change in their performance, in their competence levels, and in reducing corruption. So it's not about a change of heart in Cyril Ramaphosa. It is about the hammering at the ballot box that will help us.
All right, so then let's end there. Are you hopeful that there could be some good changes?
I am very hopeful. I'm actually inspired by the results of the metros, especially Johannesburg Metro and other big cities in the Gauteng province where the coalition partners have taken over. That is a step in the right direction, and that is going to start giving us progress. And after that, we're hoping that provinces like Gauteng will go to the coalition and possibly KZN. And all of that is a step in the right direction in South Africa.
All right, saying the ANC has had a chance, move power away now. Thank you very much for your analysis, looking at the year ahead.